Severe storms in the Midwest expected on Tuesday. How bad will it be and who will be affected? Hello everybody, it's meteorologist Jacob Campbell here with your WeatherNow forecast. Thank you all for joining me for my channel's relaunch. I'm back in school. I moved back on Friday, and I will be working to put out more content again now that I have better internet and more resources at my disposal. So, let's get started. There is an enhanced risk for severe storms here stretching from Iowa through parts of Missouri into Illinois and into Indiana as well. This enhanced risk for severe storms is mostly because of hail and wind. Tornadoes are a lesser threat. There's quite a bit of cape, and there is very little in terms of shear, which means that you're going to have a higher risk for hail and a higher risk for wind and less of a chance of tornadoes. Seeing as though the atmospheric profile is predicted to be fairly uniform, so winds at the surface are moving at a similar speed to winds at the 500 millibar level. And so because of that, we're not anticipating many tornadoes at this point. There's a slight risk of severe storms stretching off of the same system that is from Nebraska, parts of Colorado through Kansas into Missouri, parts of Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, a little sliver here of Ohio. And this is a part of the same system. There's also another system off here in the Kansas-Nebraska area that will be igniting. That will bring its own threat for severe storms. Once again, hail and wind is going to be the primary threat. Then we have these marginal risk areas through Minnesota, Wisconsin, parts of Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, and then also stretching through Wyoming, Colorado, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin. This is the southern part of Wisconsin, so not the one up to the north. Kentucky, Tennessee, parts of North Carolina, parts of Virginia, all of West Virginia, parts of Michigan, the actual, the main part of Michigan. Then also for Ohio, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and parts of Delaware here and a little sliver here of New Jersey. Primary threats are going to be heavy rain and some damaging winds. The primary hail threat is for the Illinois area. Okay, now here is the Wednesday forecast. So I'm expecting that slight risk of severe storms that stretched into Nebraska and also parts of Kansas is off of a system that will be moving to the south through the nighttime hours of Tuesday and into the morning hours on Wednesday. I'm anticipating that they're going to upgrade this to a slight risk as we come closer to the day, because the reflectivity, the simulated reflectivity is suggesting that there will be some powerful thunderstorms. There's a fair bit of cape in that area and not too much shear, so we're once again looking at hail and heavy winds, and damaging winds. So tornadoes would be a lesser threat here. We're mainly looking at hail. We also have a risk for severe storms here, marginal risk on the East Coast area. You guys are forecasted with some hail as well. So the next 2 days shouldn't be too big in terms of tornadoes. There is a small chance, there's a marginal risk for tornadoes on Tuesday. No word yet on Wednesday, but I'm expecting that it'll also be marginal. That doesn't mean tornadoes won't happen. That just means that they're not likely at this point. So we're going to move on over here to, come on. If I can get this to work. There we go. We're going to move on over here to simulated radar, and we're going to take off here at about midnight for on Eastern Daylight Time, so this would be 11 p.m. Central Time. And we're going to take a look at the simulated reflectivity here. We have this line that begins to build up and then push into Illinois and Indiana before finally dissipating. And then you see the storms that I was talking about through the nighttime hours on Tuesday and the early morning hours on Wednesday. They're going to pop up here in the Kansas area and continue to push south. So in terms of this line that's pushing through, until I see more data to suggest that it will hold up through Illinois and Indiana, I'm expecting that we'll see a downgrade. Not necessarily a downgrade, but we're going to see that enhanced risk area move away from Indiana and then push more into central Illinois, a smaller enhanced risk area, just because it doesn't have a lot of structure as it pushes through Illinois. As you'll see here, it pushes into Illinois and then it breaks apart as it kind of reaches the border between Indiana and Illinois. But then we have this system over here in Kansas that's going to push down to the south, feeding off of there's a vast amount of Cape in this area. So once again, the hail threat is on the larger side. So we're going to go ahead and move over to the East Coast here and take a look at the severe thunderstorms that are expected throughout here. We can see that there's a line that starts to set up from Maine down to North Carolina. We also see these little pop-up thunderstorms that are going to push their way through this New York area in the day on Wednesday, and this could lead to some large hail, especially for those areas that were in that marginal risk. So anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed. I will see you all in the next video on Wednesday. I may even live stream tomorrow, depending on how serious the storms in Illinois and Indiana are, as it's in my backyard. So I hope that you all have a good one. Please stay safe, and I will see you all in the next one.